am going to take you through the full process of how to make a notepad, starting with how I make my designs. So I am going to use Canva. This is all that I use to make my designs. So I am going to go into Canva, and they do have free subscriptions. You don't have to pay for this. I do pay for it because I want the extra features, but you do not have to pay for this. So I'm going to open up a new window. So I hit this plus sign, and then I want this notepad that I'm about to make to be 5 by 7. So I'm going to do 5 by 7, and I want to make sure it's in inches because that's the easiest way for me to do measurements. Okay, so I have my paper open. The first thing I'm going to do are make my lines. So I'm going to go to my elements, I'm going to go to square, and I'm going to pick my square. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it as big as the full screen or the full template here. And then I am going to turn it white. I'm going to make this outline dots, and I'm going to put it at a stroke 1. Now my preference on this is I take the color of it and I just make it a light gray. You don't have to do that, that is my preference, but you can see that the line is on here. It is just very, very light, so you're not able to see it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start my design. So I am making another pickle notepad, and I am going to be using the current pickles that I have. So I'm going to go to my uploads. I have them all in my files. It's on this side here. And I'm just going to do pickles, and I'm going to look up all my files. So I have a lot. I do love pickles, and I make a lot of pickle notepads, and they are very popular. So I'm going to stick with that theme because I want to expand one more notepad into that. So I'm just going to pick a couple of the cute pickles that I have. This one here. Now I'm going to make it a lot smaller, of course. And then I'm going to shrink it down to about the size that I want it. So I'm just going to get it close to the edge, but not too close to the edge because you don't want to cut it. I am going to pick 3 more pickles that I have, which I have them all over here. So now I'm going to put the font on it. I am going to go all the way up top, hit click add text box. So things I need to deal with. There we go. And then this is my notepad. So the next step is you are going to copy the entire thing, but the outside box will not copy. So you're going to hit shift, and now the entire thing is copied. So you're going to hit Control C to copy it. So you're going to open another window, custom size, make sure it's in inches, and then I do 11 by 8.5. So now you have your new screen. So I'm going to hit Control V to paste what I just did, and I'm going to put it in the middle, and then I'm going to duplicate it. And then I am going to put them in the center. So there we have it. So this is how you make it in Canva. All right, so you go up to the top right corner, and there is a share button. You're going to hit the share button, and you're going to hit download. You're going to go to PDF print, and then you're going to do it in CMYK, and you're going to click download. So once your little box pops up here, you're going to name it, and I will name it Things I Need to Deal With. Okay, so once we are done making the design and then going ahead and printing it, we need to cut it. So you need to make sure you have your chipboard. If you don't have chipboard, some people do use very heavy cardstock. It is completely up to you what you would like. Here's how the notepad looks from when I designed it. Okay, so you have different ways that you can cut it. You can use an X-Acto knife with a ruler and do straight on the lines. Now you're only going to be able to do 1 page at a time, so it will take some time. You can use scissors. So this is actually how I started, was I used these exact scissors. Now, I did not sell them while using scissors. It was just kind of a trial and error kind of thing to decide if I truly liked making notepads. So you can also use, which I then started using, my paper trimmer. This one is from Cricut. And I would cut 3 to 4 sheets at a time. So you can totally do that method as well. So today I'm actually going to be using my heavy duty cutter, which is this thing right here. This is what I upgraded to after I was done using the paper trimmer. Now, once we are done cutting it, which I have finished cutting both of them, we are going to go ahead and glue them. But we need to make sure they are pressed very tightly together so that when you glue them, they stay nice and tight together. So first things first, you need a way to tighten it. So my husband made me this press. This was my very first press that I've used. I bought this press here off of Amazon, and then I just recently bought this one. I actually haven't had a chance to use it. So we're going to move these all out of the way because I am going to show you how to do it with binding clips, because this is what most people start with. And I started with this before I moved on to the press that I had my husband made for me. So we're going to go ahead and do it this way. So you're going to need to protect your top layer. I take 2 pieces of heavy cardstock and I put it right in front, and I'll show you how I do it. So you're going to make sure everything is really very nice and neat, and you want to make sure this is all completely straight. So that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 pieces of cardstock and I'm going to put them right on top just like so, but I'm not going to put it all the way to the edge. I'm going to put my binding clips just like so, and I'm going to put a binding clip just like so. I'm going to go ahead and close these, which will help control everything. So you're going to take your paintbrush and you're going to wet it, and you're going to drain the excess out. So you're going to take your glue. I've already put my glue into this here. I'm at the end of my bottle, so it's easier just to dip it into this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start gluing this. So I'm just going to take a little glue. I'm going to start from the middle and I'm going to work my way out. Now remember, you do take off this top. When I print my notepads, I always print 51 because I know I'm going to be taking that top one off. So I print that one so that, because I will show you here in a second, when you are gluing, you see this excess that comes on the top, that you're going to be ripping off, so you don't need to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and turn it so I can get the other side really good. So once I'm done with that glue, you see it doesn't take much glue. I'm going to go ahead and just take my finger and I'm going to wipe off the excess of the glue that got onto the back of the notepad. Now, if you want to protect these and you think you're going to make a mess, just put some cardstock there or an extra piece of chipboard, not a big deal. And then I go ahead and I wipe off the excess off this front page so it's not built up. And then it's all nice and glued. So you're going to take binding clips, 2 more, and you're going to put it on top just like this, which will keep that nice and tight. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my second one here, and then I'll be back. So now that I have finished gluing the notepads, I'm going to go ahead and clean my paintbrush. And I just use this little device here, which I absolutely love. One of my favorite finds. So I'm not having to run to the kitchen, back and forth. Okay, then you squeeze it out, and then you save it for the next one. Okay, so these are now completed. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take the binding clips off. The nice thing about this glue is it does start out white, but when it dries clear. So you're going to go ahead and take off the binding clips. You're going to take off your cardstock or your chipboard, whatever it is that you used. You're going to take off that front page. So here's the notepad that I've made. So this is the process and this is how to make notepads. I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to put everything I used in the description.